Welcome, everybody. Mainline Executive Coaching. Glad that you could join us from whatever part of the world that you are joining us from, whether you're watching us live or watching us afterwards and then downloading. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for being part of what it is that we're doing here. And thank you for being just someone out there that's looking to better themselves as a leader or help those around them become better leaders. This is Maikel Bailey with my partner, Rich Barron. We are Mainline the Leaders. ACT, ACT, and we are going to be talking about action in terms of specifically leadership development and executive coaching. Is executive coaching right for everybody? Is this right for just anybody? And we're going to tell you right off the bat, it is not. It is certainly not by any means. It's a tremendous tool. It's a tremendous method to get you up to speed, to really not only gauge your potential now, but teach you those skills and those habits that will allow you for the rest of your life. And I mean this completely sincerely, to engage your potential for the rest of your life. And in turn, as you do that, you will set an example for everyone else around you to engage their potential to become their very best. So here we go. Is it right for everybody? Rich, let's start unpacking that. What's your take?
No, it's not. It's just not right for everybody. But here's the reason why. Let's talk about this. Executive coaching can be one of the most important decisions upcoming leaders at all level can make in their career. And there's a lot of reasons why. Let me give some statistics, okay? From the Hay Group, a third of all Fortune 500 companies utilize executive coaching as standard leadership development for their lead executives and talented up-and-comers. Here's a couple others. From the Korn Ferry Institute, coachees rate higher than others. As one might expect, individuals experience the coaching self-ratings report stronger effects than do others. It also, if you could put on a resume that you've gone through executive coaching, that carries quite a bit of weight. There are actually statistics that show that these individuals who have gone through coaching and have developed these skills are more successful than their counterparts. Coaching, it works. The coachees made in another Korn Ferry statistic, coaching does work. The coachees made a moderate to large improvement in skills and or performance. Both the executives themselves and others perceived a positive difference as a result of coaching. Now, here's another awesome. I gotta mention this too. From Metrics Global LLC, executive coaching produced a 788% ROI for a Fortune 500 company. Now, on average, we know that the average, according to Price Waterhouse Coopers, the average return on investment for executive coaching is 7 times. But here's the thing. It may have all these benefits, and truly it's going to help develop leadership talents. It's going to help leadership skills. And this isn't just for the workplace. Keep in mind, this will carry over into your personal life, into every other thing you do with your family, with your those friends, anybody because you're going to have a bigger, broader understanding of who you are and what makes you tick. But on the other hand, it's only as good as the person being coached and their desire to learn, their desire to take this on. Now, there's one thing that Harvard Business Review, okay? I'm all full of statistics tonight. Do not engage a coach to fix behavioral problems in your organization, because blamers, victims, and individuals with ironclad belief systems will not change. And so.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah, they don't. And so, I mean, that's the whole thing. I think, sometimes I think organizations engage a coach for their particular leaders who may be, the problem child, or that,
It is just like the man who goes with his wife to marriage counseling, And he looks at the therapist and says, the only reason I'm here is for you to fix my wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a strike three on a one pitch ball.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I just got a comment from a gentleman named Ronnie Shoemaker, and I'll tell you,
Thanks, Ron.
he is one stand-up guy. He's two great leadership coaches. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that very much. So
this is something that's kind of interesting. When you get into coaching, I'm going to give you kind of what I think are kind of the 4 H's of coaching. Number one, you got to find that coaching is it's going to be helpful. If you get in and you do the work and you're ready to do the work and you're willing to do the work and you really commit to doing the work, coaching will be very helpful to you. So that's one H. The second H is hard. If coaching isn't hard, then you're not doing it right. I've got one client that she's really smart. She's really good. She's great to talk to. But I told her the other day, you are one of those students back in college that the teachers really loved, the professors loved you because you could really do the work really, really well without having to do a deep dive on it. You could kind of skate and still get those great grades. And I just want you to know that I see that. I get that about you. And so I'm asking you to do some deep dives. We're not just going to do some skating here. So that's number two. It's got number three, rather. It's helpful and it's got to be hard. If it's not hard, you're not doing it right. The third thing is this: it's going to hurt. There's going to be times it's going to be a little bit like somebody pinching you in spots that you don't particularly like being pinched there. You don't like being pinched there. It gives you a chance to see, here's where you're not doing so great. Here's where you're not telling yourself the truth. Here's a blind spot. Here's a way that you're kind of hiding away from it. And the coach will brings it up. They'll talk about it in a respectful way. But sometimes it's a little bit of a pinch. It's a little bit of a hard thing to do. Talking to some clients that sometimes it's very hard for them to delegate. They're so over freaking responsible. They feel like they got to do it all. They just feel like, and I'm telling you, got to let it go. Your job as a leader is to get your people to step it up, which means you've got to let it go. If they're going to step it up, you got to let it go. That's the only way that you're going to train and get the best out of them. So sometimes it's going to hurt a little bit. And the last one is this. When you look back on it, I'm going to share a short story after this. It's going to be one of the highlights of your life. I promise you, it'll be one of those points in your life that was just a major turnaround for you. I was contacted the other day, I think I told you about this, from a woman. I had no idea who she was. And she asked me, are you blah, blah, blah? Did you do this? Da, 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 da. I said, yeah. And she said, will you coach my husband? About 12, 13 years ago. Oh, yeah. I remember him. He's a great guy, right? Just a great guy. Very interesting. He was a partner in this business, and it was a very unfair partnership. He was showing up before everybody else, and he was working all day long. His partner would come in at 9 o'clock, leave at 5, and those things. And Roger was still there after hours working his tail off. He said, we got to change that up, man. I mean, this is all wrong. We got to fix this because this is not working for you. Maybe working for everybody else but you, but it's certainly not working for you. And so she followed up, and 12 years or so later, she says, we still talk about you. We still talk about what you and Roger did, the things that you talked about, the things that he learned from you. I'm telling you, if you do it right, as you're saying, it affected his wife. It affected his children. He eventually left that business that really wasn't working for him. He was working for it, but it wasn't working for him. Started another business. I think he even started another business after that. I mean, this is a man that worked hard. He was dedicated. He cared. He just somehow got himself wound up some tight places, shackled himself in his own potential so that he wasn't really enjoying the fruits of what it is that he could do. That's what coaching can do for you. If you're serious about taking your leadership up to that next level, it's going to start unwinding the stuff that you get yourself tangled up in ways that I'm telling you right now, you can't even imagine how much power and potential now will start coming forward and how it will really start changing everything in your life. It's just how it works.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that we see from coaching, from leadership coaching and development and helping you truly understand yourself is work-life balance. That's a big issue. It really is, because you see so many of these people overworked, overstressed, concerned about, how long they're going to be at the organization because they don't feel they're able to really address the issues or add to the organization. That's one thing that executive coaching really does for you. Helps you understand work-life balance. And I gotta tell you a story here real quick. My father, man, he retired as the CRE for the U.S. Forest Service. Okay, now he retired back in '93, and it was interesting because I never really fully understood what he did. Now, I knew it was great because I got to go out in the mountains with him a lot. And even a lot of the things that he did and, his legacy that he left, he, won all these national design awards for, things like the Upper Mesa Falls Overlook and a few things like that. But I never knew, honestly, that much more about his job because when he came home, he was my dad. Work was done. And one thing he used to always say to me that here's the deal. A job or a career is to put a roof over your house and food on the table. He said there are far more important things in life than just your career. And if you get lost in your career, a lot of times you'll lose that thing in your life that's most important. And you really need to understand that. That's and so that was, I'll tell you what, that's a great lesson I took from my dad. That career work is an important part of our lives. We go to school and all these things in order to become that person in our career, in order to leave a legacy for ourselves and maybe in a different way. But when it really comes down to it, it's who you are outside of your job, who you are in here. What does your inner core say about you? What are your beliefs? What is your focus? What is your how do you really show the world from the inside out who you are? And really that's what it comes down to, because you're not going to work your whole life. You're simply not. When you're done, what kind of legacy are you going to leave behind? What are they going to say about you? And a lot of times it's not even what they're going to say about you. It's what you did behind the scenes that help others improve their lives. And so really that's what executive coaching is a lot about. That it's about teaching you work-life balance. It's about teaching you more about yourself. It's about teaching you these skills that you need to not only help improve yourself, improve your organization, but improve your entire life. Now, we're not life coaches. Don't get me wrong. Executive coaching isn't life coaching. Executive coaching isn't, we're not being mentors. Executive coaching, we're not consultants. We're executive coaches. That's the difference. We develop leadership skills and cultural skills. That's what we develop. And we're in for the journey. 6, 9, 12 months and beyond. It's the interesting thing too. We talk about the effects of executive coaching. 98%, and this is 98% of all ILEC people who worked with ILEC show an improvement. However, 100% of the people who stayed with ILEC coaching for more than 6 months dramatically improved their abilities.
And there's a reason for that. People don't change suddenly. People don't change overnight. It takes some time working with you to kind of set the table, kind of lay it out, kind of lay out this plan of what it is that we're going to do, and to start addressing areas so that you can start seeing what's going on here. And then as we lay that out so that you can see it more clearly, who you are, what your great strengths are, what are the things that you're doing to trip yourself up, what are the things that are just holding you back that you may not see or want to even see or recognize. As we start addressing that stuff, I'm telling you, as sincerely as I can tell you, you start just doing that kind of work, you can't help but bring out the best in you. It's just the way we're designed to do. You would have to work really hard. It's like that one statistic here, people that are just entrenched in themselves and egotistical and all that kind of stuff. Those people are not going to change. I mean, and if you've got somebody in office or in your organization that is like that, I'm going to give you a clue here that may be helpful to you. They are not on your agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
They may act like it, they may pretend like it, they may talk like it, but they are not. You need to take a close look at those, because they're going to, at some level, they're going to be kind of a drag. Yeah, I'm sure there's some positive stuff. At some point, they're going to be an anchor. What you want to be able to do is you bring out that best in you, and I'll tell you honestly, folks, you're a leader. You don't even have the beginning in many ways of what that best is. I don't care how successful you are. You get with the right people. You get to start talking to the right coach. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing things very differently. It may not be easy, but you will start seeing things differently. And then that's kind of the magic sauce of how do I get you to see things differently in such a way that not only benefits you, but it benefits everybody around you, starting with your work, but it all ripples out to your family and every place else. When you really get down to it, if you just do the work, no more complicated than that. Amazing, not just great things, but amazing things start to happen here. And that's what Rich and I do. We're the amazing makers. We do leadership development. That's what it is. And the result is we are the amazing makers.
All right. Well, here's the other thing. You hit on something there, that you have to build a rapport. It's not just about going and hiring a coach and, throwing a dart at someone on LinkedIn and saying, yep, you're my guy. You need to build a rapport with this coach, because you're going to be doing a lot of pretty difficult things. And I'll tell you what, if you got to know Maikel and myself and you decided, hey, not quite a fit, I'll tell you what, we have a list of some of the very best executive coaches on the planet, period, that we can send you to. And all these guys that we work with, I can tell you that I have learned personally so much from them, and I owe so much to each and every one of them. And I don't know if you agree with me, Maikel, but I'll tell you what, it's phenomenal people. And so,
good people.
Oh yeah,
it's fun talking to them.
Very, very
some very different from one another. They're a unique group.
Oh yeah, it's a great group.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like Maikel said, we're the magic makers.
The amazing makers.
The amazing makers. There you go.
You're the amazing makers. And there's some magic in there too. All right, let's wrap it up here, folks. For you and out there, and let's take a look. Germany. I hope you've been a shout out for a while in Germany. Frankfurt, Germany. How you doing? Great to have you aboard here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, you take us home, Rich.
All right, folks. Again, we come to the end of another fun-filled episode of Mainline Executive Coaching ACT. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Leave us a comment. Go to our website. And I'm going to put that up right now. It is Executive Leaders Act, ILEC.com. Go there and learn a little bit about us. Book some time with us, and let's talk. Let's get to know each other. Let's see what we can do for each other. After all, I'll tell you what, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month is going to go by, whether or not you have started yourself down that journey. So the whole question is, where do you want to be 6 months from now? Where do you want to be 9 months from now? Where do you want to be a year from now? Because that time is going to pass, whether or not you involve yourself in making yourself better. And so give us a call. We're here to help. Check us out. And once again, thank you for all your support, and have a great evening. We'll see you soon. Take care.
All right. All the best, folks.